Florida dates. Just not his night. 7-22 from the field. Denver takes a 2-1 lead on OKC. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, that was one of those games that you will remember for a considerable amount of time, right? Because there were so many back and forths. The superstars are not playing particularly well when it comes to their efficiency on offense. Now, they did other things, but then you have the role players, the stars that step up. If there's one player that you had to give the game ball for on the Nuggets side, who would it be, man?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's going to be, we're going to split this. We're going to do a Rosemary Baby situation, split it with Jamal Murray. And I think it's Solomon's baby. I got my babies confused. But either way, we're splitting it. It's going to go between Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. Jamal Murray was fantastic tonight. 27 points, 8 assists. He played defense. He made some big buckets. But then Aaron Gordon, he's been fantastic this entire playoffs, Chris. I mean, he had a bunch of threes. Don't forget, this is a guy who was a below average three-point shooter his entire career. This offseason, he goes in, he owns a gym. He sleeps in a giant gym that he renovated, and he was working on his shot all season. And now this season shot a career high 44%. Went from a below average three-point shooter to a really good one. And he hit that massive three at the end of the fourth to send it to overtime. So those two guys really bailed out not only the Nuggets, but especially Nikola Jokic. If you're Oklahoma City, you look at what Jokic did tonight, where he shot 8 for 25 from the floor, 0 for 10 from three, and then they had 16 turnovers as a team, Chris. He had a half of those. If you're Oklahoma City, you're thinking, that's it. That's a wrap. We got game 3 in the bag. Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, whatever baby that you're splitting there, they get to split the baby and the game ball.
Yeah, it was a breathtaking performance from those two. They just came up with clutch play after clutch play. And another guy that I think we have to spotlight, right? Michael Porter Jr. has not had his best series because of that AC sprain joint in his left shoulder. But what does it say about his resolve to perform the way he did when they needed him, especially with Jokic being underwhelming?
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody, the Nuggets, you, me, people who watch basketball have been waiting for Michael Porter Jr. to step forward. Now, as you mentioned, he's got that shoulder injury, and so it's hampered him, obviously. But Michael Porter Jr., over the course of his career, quite frankly, has not become the guy that everybody thought that he could become, because he's got size, he's got athleticism, he can shoot the ball, he's fast, he's physical, all of the things that you would want. If you were going to build a prototypical basketball player, you'd point to Michael Porter Jr. and say, that's the guy. But it hasn't really materialized or translated to him becoming an all-star or just putting up gaudy numbers or even being just the consistent third best option on that team. Tonight, though, he really stepped forward when they needed him most, because as you mentioned and as we discussed, Nikola Jokic was completely off. And this is a team where on any given night, you're not really sure what you're going to get out of the supporting cast. They've been super inconsistent for much of the year. Tonight, the supporting cast lifted Nikola Jokic instead of the other way around.
Right. And then on the other side, we have to talk about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he had one of those performances that you definitely want to flush down the toilet after watching what he did, in contrast to his teammate, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, who had a playoff career high. What was it about the Nuggets, right, when it came to their defensive scheme to make things so difficult for Shai?
Yeah, they definitely harried him. I mean, this is the kind of standard that you've set now if you're a Nikola Jokic or a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, where both of them went for double-doubles, with Joker had 5 assists and SGA had 7 assists, and you go, man, that was an off night for those guys because they weren't efficient. We're so used to them being efficient. And you mentioned Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams had a career playoff high 32 points. They needed scoring tonight on a night where none of them outside of Jalen Williams shot the ball well. Oklahoma City sub 40% from the floor, just 9 of 35 from deep. That's 26%. They also just shot 68% from the line. And SGA, he was the biggest problem shooting the ball, 7 of 22 from the floor. So, yeah, on a night where you got Jalen Williams to play well, when Chet Holmgren had another good game after that game 1 where he missed those 2 free throws, he played well again. You needed SGA to play like an MVP, and he didn't. He missed a lot of big shots. And when it goes to overtime and you lose a close game, you know, we've seen Oklahoma City win these really comfortable games, these blowout games, but now all of a sudden it's the Nuggets who are winning these close games, these games where you need a big play when you go to overtime. That's resilience, that's poise, that's playoff experience. And so far, Oklahoma City hasn't shown that.
Right, and that's the reason why, you know, the Nuggets have won a championship, because they have been in these positions. Now, when it comes to the last play right in overtime, or last play in fourth quarter, excuse me, Shea looked like he was forcing it. You know, he's looking for the foul. In that situation, I know he is your guy. He is an MVP favorite for a reason. But do you feel like they should have gone with Jalen Williams in that situation?
Yeah, it's a tough call, right? I mean, if you're SGA, you're so good at getting to the line, and when you get there, you're automatic. So I don't mind that, although tonight was an aberration. But yeah, I mean, I probably would have ridden with the hot hand. Same with the Nuggets, who went to Joker at the end of regulation, and he got a relatively clean look. He got a shot off, but he was ice cold tonight. So for both teams to go to their MVP candidates, I get it. Those are your guys. They're the reason why you got here. You dance with the one that brung you, right? But Jalen Williams for Denver, or for Oklahoma City, was so fantastic tonight that I probably would have gone with the hot hand. And also, conversely, with the Nuggets, I'm not sure that I would have gone to Joker. I probably would have gone with Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon in that situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, you're going to Joker here? I mean, I know he's won so many MVPs, but I would have definitely given it to Aaron Gordon. But again, they get the W, so it doesn't matter. Now, moving forward, John, for Game 4, what do the Thunder have to do to tie the series up and avoid going down 3-1 in your opinion?
All right, well, number one, they've done a pretty good job these last two games of harassing Nikola Jokic, right? Again, if you have in Game 2, Nikola Jokic fouled out in the third quarter. And then in Game 3 tonight, he had a terrible shooting night, one of the least efficient shooting nights I can remember him ever having, on top of having 8 turnovers. That was because Oklahoma City Thunder did a really good job playing defense on him. They used up a ton of fouls and physicality with Isaiah Hartenstein, the other Jalen Williams, not J-Dub, the one who scored 32 points tonight, but Jay Will, the guy off the bench who played fantastic defense. Sometimes they were throwing Lou Dort at him. Sometimes they had Alex Caruso on him. It just like they're just throwing a bunch of different looks. So I think, one, you want to keep up that physicality and playing as good defense as you could possibly play against Nikola Jokic. I don't anticipate him having a game like this again, although after Game 2, I said the same thing. So these last two games, that's encouraging for Oklahoma City. And then beyond that, it's just the obvious. It's SGA has got to be much more efficient. He has to look like the SGA who's probably going to win MVP, rather than the SGA who's been a little passive in these playoffs and hasn't really been put to the test. And when he hasn't been the guy that you think, okay, he's this next face of the NBA. He needs to really step it up for them in this next game. Very quickly, John, does this game change your opinion about what the Nuggets can do against the Thunder? Yeah, I had Oklahoma City winning this series in 6. It doesn't look like that right now. I mean, I think that we forgot that the Nuggets have been playoff tested, resilient. They don't get rattled, and they're 2 years removed from winning an NBA championship. And right now, it's the Nuggets putting Oklahoma City on notice instead of the other way around. Can't wait to see how the rest of the series shapes up. Should be more cinematic goal between the Nuggets and the Thunder. John Gonzalez, always appreciate talking to you, man. And so here's a look at the Nuggets when they're at home in overtime playoff games in the Nikola Jokic era. All W's, baby. Never lost. Never lost. That's how you get it done to make your hometown, home crowd happy. And coming up, we will show you how the Nuggets were able to pull out the win at home with some gutsy performances and some star-like plays from some of their best players. Jamal Murray is one of them.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã quay trở lại kênh YouTube của mình. Mình hiện làm người làm video sáng tạo nội dung trên nền tảng YouTube nha các bạn. Mình sẽ sáng tạo những video hướng dẫn cắt dán cho các bạn này. Đây là những sản phẩm của mình đã cắt dán rất nhiều những sản phẩm của mình đây này. Mình sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn cách mình tạo ra những video viral của mình nha. Đấy. Để tạo được những video đẹp hay chất lượng cho các bạn xem thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ như sau. Mình sẽ giới thiệu cho các bạn biết nha. Đây là giấy thủ công màu này các bạn này. rất nhiều màu sắc này. Đấy. Nó có giấy màu vàng này, giấy màu xanh này, đây là màu xanh da trời nha các bạn này, còn đây là giấy màu đỏ. Đấy. Còn đây giấy màu cam này các bạn này, màu cam, giấy màu vàng này. Đấy, giấy màu vàng. Và để tạo ra được những sản phẩm tuyệt vời như thế này, đấy, những sản phẩm mình đang cầm trên tay là sản phẩm đẹp của mình. Đấy. Rất nhiều sản phẩm này. Thì mình sẽ cần những dụng cụ tiếp theo sẽ là kéo để cắt này, kéo cắt, bút dạ là để vẽ và định hình, tô thêm những sắc màu đẹp cho sản phẩm. Còn đây là hồ dán để mình có thể dán được những chi tiết vào cho sản phẩm này. Đấy, cắt dán mà đây như thế này đây, mình sẽ cắt